Pokimane calls out Kai Cenat and Ishowspeed. Let me explain. A few days ago now, Pokimane came out and said this.
As much as I think Kai and Speed are incredible, and what they do is incredible, also when I think of them, I think of how much the audience has changed over the years as well. Unfortunately, there aren't that many like huge female streamers, at least not on their level, which I think reflects like nowadays the audience has in a way gone more to being a lot of like younger dudes.
So of course, as a big streamer herself, Pokimane checks the analytics of who's the big dogs in the streaming sphere at the moment, and obviously sees Kai and Speed there a lot. But more importantly, what she has noticed and what she said is she hasn't seen many females on that level of Kai or Speed, and also not really in the most watched streamers. And a lot of people have come back and been, you know, quite abrupt and said there's no one on that level because no one's doing anything to that level. And as much as that is true, it doesn't mean that they can't be in the top 20. As I had a look at the top 20 watch streamers, and you know, they're all basically men, and realistically there's no reason why that should be the case. There's no definitive reason why that would play out that way, and that's why she's asking the question. It's a bit confusing on why are the majority of the top streamers all men? Like, why is that the case? A few people being very horrible, just being like because men are more entertaining, which isn't true. There is no like actual logistical reason to say that isn't factual. Kai and Speed are obviously very entertaining. They do many big things, but that doesn't mean that these other streaming positions can't be filled out by different people other than men. And I do think it's an interesting question because someone came back, I saw a tweet, someone came back being like, no, there are big female streamers, but they're all doing this sort of stuff, you know, hot tub streams, things like that. Then someone came back saying, if they're the only female streamers that you're seeing, that shows you and exposes your algorithm, which is very true as well. But it is a question to be said. There is an element to me that thinks, you know, someone like Kai and you know, Jinxie, Queso, and all those people that do hold a lot of the viewers, you know, they've become massive, absolutely humongous, and therefore they hold quite a lot of the market share. You know, there's only a certain amount of eyeballs on Twitch, on these streaming platforms. Who is getting that attention? And it does seem to be Kai and Speed and Queso and all these people like that. Obviously, I'm missing out some names. I don't know all the biggest streamers in the world, but they hold such a lot of the market share, and that is why, like, when it comes to like earning as a streamer, it's changed drastically for that top 1%. Pokimane and the people on the podcast do talk about this. The top 1% now and the top echelon of streamers earn so much more than they did back 10-15 years ago because of how those streamers have changed the game. More specifically Kai. Every other streamer's got a new celebrity on his stream. We speak about it all the time. It's hard not to. Obviously, it got blown out of proportion. People were getting onto Pokimane and saying, why does there have to be a woman in the top 20? But it's not about there needs to be. It's the fact that why is there not? You just generally ask the question. There is no logistical reason why that isn't the case. And also, I raised a little question to myself as I was looking, and I was like, I'm looking at these top 20. Of course, there's a lack of female representation within that top 20 and that top watch streamer list. And I also felt there's a lack of British people. Where are the Brits? Why are you not watching British streamers like your boy Floppylegss? Check the link in the bio and check out my stream. Every single game show you know and love, we're going to start doing on my channel. We've done Golden Balls, The Weakest Link, and we do The Traitors. But anyway, just made me think, why is there that lack of British people on the platform? And it is very dominated by North America. It's just very confusing. Like, why isn't that the case? And then obviously the biggest UK streamer, probably Angry Ginge. Obviously massive in his own right, but there isn't that many outside of him, in my opinion. And when you really think about the British streamers, you start going to big YouTubers that stream as well. So it's not necessarily a big streamer like a Kai, like a Speed, who blew up from streaming. And there was a fellow British streamer, Sam Ham, who spoke about this. I saw a video ages ago on TikTok, him speaking about his theory on why that is the case for British streamers.
Think about any Kai Cenat clip, Phantom clip, Agent clip. Think about where you're watching them. If it's not on TikTok, it's on Twitter, bro. You understand? We don't have that, G. What do we have? We have KSI News, which is just dedicated to KSI. Bro, we ain't got nothing in the UK. I'm telling you, there's no central account that's posting all these clips. It's very important, bro.
So of course he goes into it there. Basically, these Twitter accounts, these social media accounts basically churn out that American streamer content. You know, you see Kai Cenat every day on your Twitter feed. You see Speed. You see all these other people in this US dominated streaming sphere, and that's why there isn't necessarily that big British streamer or a constant influx of those British streamers. The only person there was that for was Angry Ginge. Why? Because there was a massive influx of Angry Ginge clips on TikTok. So it makes you think, do these American streamers maybe get the audience first that are willing to reshare their content first off? But is it proof that, you know, the way to be the biggest streamer, the way to get there is to get viral clips, consistently on these social media platforms. And the way you're going to do that is, one, be a certain sort of personality, certain sort of content, but also have the people willing to share your content. And it makes me think, okay, they don't show the Brits, but also when I really think about it, these Twitter accounts, I haven't seen them share many female streamers and what they do, other than, you know, that certain phase where I started doing more commentary videos on YouTube talking about the outrageous Twitch meta. That content as female streamers was shared around a lot. You know, when someone does a new hot tub stream, that's shared around a lot. Do you know what I mean? When there's a new thing being pushed and the boundaries, it's only a small proportion of those streamers on Twitch, very small proportion, but they get shared the most. Whereas when you look at the field of female streamers here, you know, probably doing something not too dissimilar to a Speed, playing Fortnite, very wacky, very over the top maybe in his early days, they're not necessarily getting shared around. And that's the question, why is that? Why not? Very dominated US field, streaming feels like. And it is, as Pokimane said, you can't ignore, if you look at the top 20, the most dominated, most viewed streamers, they are all men pretty much. So, you know, you can't argue with Pokimane's comment either. The fact is there. The reasoning, however, is something to be theorized and worked out. Why is that? And I pin it down to probably social media platforms that people create to share the content of these streamers doesn't necessarily happen for certain other groups, such as I mentioned, there's not many things like that for Brits, and I don't see much on my feed of female streamers. I just thought I'd bring that up. It's an interesting conversation to have. And there's also some stats to prove why that may be the case. Fewer than half the streamers on Twitch are women. In November 24, only 25% of desktop viewers of Twitch were women. So what Pokimane is saying, the actual viewer base of people going to these platforms, less are women and less women are streaming. Again, why is that? You know, one theory there could be, do women feel safe streaming on these social media and online platforms? Even I've had some nonsense said in my chat. I can only imagine what it could be for other people as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just an interesting question, and I think it is something that needs to change. It is a problem with streaming. So Pokimane didn't call out Kai Cenat and Ishowspeed, she just mentioned them two as, you know, the example that she gave as to why maybe things have shifted potentially in the streaming sphere. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What could be done to change that? And let me know, do you stream on Twitch? Drop a little comment down below. I'm trying to widen my network and my range of streamers that I interact with, especially with the game shows that I do on my channel. Try and build up the casts for that all the time. So if you're watching this and you'd ever want to get involved, do let me know. Join the Discord, check out the Twitch. The links are all in the bio. Thanks for coming through, and I'll see you when I see you.